How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Today I will be showing you my tour of the most beautiful ballpark in America, PNC Park, via my GoPro footage. I hope you guys like it. Leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Have a good time.
Everybody else.
You have to put your phones and keys and trays
bags and cell phones.
You'll need to check your bags.
You set cell phone right on the table. Take a look at that bag. All right.
I need you to put your bag in also.
Oh, okay.
If you can step back out and then walk back. Perfect.
How about I got a bunch of coins in my
The
pocket.
coins are fine, you can keep them.
Keys out there.
Perfect, it's right there. Oh, thank you, sir.
Go. Bathroom's on your left.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Ready to see the best ballpark in America?
Yeah.
Straight ahead.
We've been here time.
No, I'm just.
Right out here, if too much sun for you, just kind of stay back under the top.
All right. All right.
Drop my bag. We're gonna meet here. Tour starts here.
All right.
Sprinklers off.
You there? Yeah. I think right over here, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait a corner?
Yeah, but third row down.
Oh, okay. So,
We're in row 3.
oh, okay.
Yeah, row C.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So they have the Crawdads logo, or the Crawford logo in the grass painted over there. So everything's pointing to them wearing the Negro League uniforms tonight.
Yeah. How about that?
Which is,
I'll take that.
yeah, sure. I mean, no, I'm fine right now. So I think that they're gonna wear the Negro League uniforms tonight.
Yep.
Yep.
How'd that girl go?
I think that's the team doctor actually.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess they're playing with football.
I was just saying this would be hot. This would be enough to bake tomorrow. For noon tomorrow, right?
Yeah, like 12:30 or
Yeah,
12:30.
12:30.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd bake out here.
Yeah, you'd bake all right.
We're sitting like right over there tonight.
Oh, you are?
Tonight we're
Okay.
here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Believe it or not, we only paid $18 per ticket. What? Yeah.
They
were running a
They're
special.
14 off.
Yeah, they were 14 off the regular price, but they were running a special. I don't know how many runs the Pirates scored when they played the Mets.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Then they took that
Every
amount off.
every run was $1 off
Wow.
for that Mets series.
Huh?
So yeah,
Which is,
not bad, huh? Not bad.
Kind of curious if this. I probably walked right by. But what is this area called? Is there a name for this?
I think it's just left field bleachers.
Okay. Okay. That's what I'd call it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We've been...
Yeah. Okay.
Are they coming?
Yeah.
Are they starting?
I guess so.
Welcome. Come on in. Get out of the sun.
Right.
Does anybody claim that young lady that's down there? See with us? That's not them. Okay. Welcome to PNC Park. This is the nicest ballpark in America. And also probably the second smallest nicest park. Only Miami is smaller than us. Okay? Their stadium's ugly, so. As you will notice, okay, this is very, very nice. Cost us about $260 million. That includes buying the property and building the ballpark. The new Yankee Stadium cost over $1 billion. Okay, that's why our most expensive seats are 200. Theirs are about 1,500. But again, that's why their payroll's what it is. But anyway, that's another story. Anyway, as you will notice since we're going around, this is a very, very nice ballpark. This is our 18th year of operation. Okay? My name is Bill. This is Carmen. You guys are going to be stuck with us for about the next hour and a half. If you have questions about anything that is at all difficult, ask Carmen. Okay? So, we'll go through. If you want to take pictures anywhere in the ballpark, it's allowed. Okay, so you can take any pictures that you want. Okay? How many of you are Pirate fans? Good. You guys will go with me. The rest of you guys see the pretty grass. Okay. Thanks for coming. Milwaukee. Yeah, Steelers will let you know. Milwaukee, we have a special tour for you. Not the board. Take a right. When you're over that yellow bridge, make another right. We're playing a little bit more even with you guys. About 2 years ago, I think we had to win 30 in a row just to break even. Okay? So we are kind of catching Yankee fans, thanks for swimming along with us, okay? And we welcome you here. Now, Pirates have only played in 5 ballparks in their entire existence. 4 of them have been right in this area. We played at a little place called Recreation Park for a couple years. Then we moved to a place called Exposition Park. Exposition Park is important because it was the home of the first World Series we've ever played. We played Boston, we'll talk about that later on. It was approximately where Three River Stadium was. You're not from Pittsburgh. That's about between here and Heinz Field. The problem was we were right at river level, okay? Which meant that every time it rained, the field flooded. It was horrible. The outfield literally was a swamp. Okay? We had a special ground rule. The umpire went out with the center fielder. If the runner was not over his ankles, he played. Okay? If the ball stuck in the mud, it was ground rule double. Okay? And there were a lot of those. So our owner, a guy named Barney Price, which we'll see his picture later, he decided he didn't want to play in those conditions. He's the guy that built Forbes Field. It's the only ballpark that was not in this area. It's out where the University of Pittsburgh is now. We played there from 1909 to 1970. It was one of the first concrete and steel ballparks that was ever built. Exposition Park, Recreation Park were both wooden ballparks. Then we moved to Three Rivers Stadium. For those of you that are from around here, you will understand when I say Three Rivers was a great place to watch the Steelers, but we would go with that, okay? And then we came over here in 2001, and we have been here, like I said, for the last 18 years. It seems impossible to guys like me who can remember going all the way up to the field, and so on, that this ballpark is already 18 years old. These guys do a fantastic job with maintenance and so on, and we will go down and get in their way later on, and when we take that, we'll get over it. Okay? What we are going to do is really go to the very top of the ballpark, start in the press box, we'll work our way down, and we will end up on the warning track. Okay? And before you guys, younglings, get an idea, no, you are not allowed on the grass. Okay? Don't even think about it. Okay? Those guys with big brakes are really neat. Okay? So again, we're going to go up the steps here and get on and get on an elevator, because if you're like me, you'd rather take the elevator than 12 flights of stairs. Okay? So we're going to go ahead. Let's go.
Yeah, there's like barely any Pirates fans. Guess it's all people. Guess it's all people just coming to see the park.
I figure at least 80% would have been Pirate fans.
Yeah.
Gotta say, I love the breeze.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Coming off the river.
I feel it. I don't care.
Wherever it's coming from.
Yeah. And like Lake Michigan, you're probably right. It's probably a gust from the river.
Yeah.
What ballpark did you say is the smallest? What ballpark did you say was the smallest?
Miami.
As far as capacity goes, seating capacity?
Probably. They had all that money to build a stadium, and they built a crappy one.
Yeah. They can't fill it because nobody wants to fill it.
Yeah. They better start paying people to go.
But I said this before and I'll say it again. I think if anybody can turn around Miami Ballpark, I think you got the right person. I think let leave their gear alone. Yeah. Leave him alone. Let him do his work. Nobody wants.
They're mad now, but
Yeah.
they're just going to stack their prospects and then they'll be fine in a few years.
And then if they're not, then you can just torch the cheater.
Yeah.
Give him a few years.
Yeah, for sure. Wonder how big these elevators are.
Yeah. We got about 600 and some televisions in the ballpark. So just about anywhere you go, except the bathroom, there's a TV. Even in the elevator.
Oh, cool. Then they can watch SpongeBob when they're
No, man. You gotta watch the ball game.
No choice. No choice.
Sometimes that's a comedy of errors.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
That's why they have all those new nets. Because nobody can pay attention to the game.
Tell Carmen we're going to the press box. Okay. Hopefully he'll meet us there.
What if Carmen never shows up?
Nobody in my family is little like you anymore.
He's playing on the grass.
Yeah, maybe Carmen's a Brewers fan.
Starting probably about 5:30 until the third inning, these elevators are strictly for the press. And so there's a key downstairs that will stop over to go directly from downstairs where we'll get off when we leave. You know, like up here, and then starting about the seventh inning, they shut them off again. And you know, it's just for the press to go up and down and so on. And I never realized this till somebody just pointed it out. Really, this is 1960 World Series, okay? The only walk-off Game 7 home run in World Series history, Mazeroski, okay? This guy out here is Yogi Berra. They had him playing left field that day instead of catching so they could get it. If you look real carefully, he's crying here, I think. Yeah, because the ball put up. I never noticed. This is from Cooperstown. This is the Hall of Fame up here. And then somebody else pointed out there's Mazeroski's face, like in I never noticed that. So I've been
Love
doing
that
this-
picture.
I've been doing this for 10 years. Well, that picture's relatively new. But, you would go. There's still a section of this fence out in Oakland, okay? And every year on October 13th, somebody brings their radio and they replay that World Series game. The rest of the ballpark is all gone, except for home plate. They have it under a piece of plexiglass in one of the buildings at Pitt. So you can actually go in and see where home plate was and so on. Beautiful ballpark, but the parking was like absolutely. Did you guys leave Carmen?
Yeah, there's more people coming.
Well, we can go without them. Okay. Useless wiring, okay? I should point out garbage like it. When we built the ballpark in 2001, step on up. There's like 120 seats out here for the press. Everyone was hardwired, so everybody had to plug in. We now went to Wi-Fi, so yeah. I imagine when they remodel, they'll take that and make a giant wall out of it somewhere. But yeah, so again, it's no longer. Yeah, I don't think anybody plugs in anymore out here. They just kind of tie it all in. We're gonna go ahead. You'll find us, and you guys can come in here and. If there's any real Pirate fans, okay, really, really serious, There's a picture right inside on this wall right here. You can take a peek at. Okay, if you're not a Pirate fan, it won't make any sense. But okay, guys, can you come on in?
See that?
See what it is, though.
Okay, I gotta see what it is. Yeah. Oh, Bob Prince. He was the longtime broadcaster.
You're an Irish fan? All right. All good.
Yes.
Mike Ditkoff.
I'm gonna watch the game right here.
Come down here, man.
Guys can have a seat either over here.
Now you can sit like in this entire spot. Oh, and now,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I was a big Bob Prince fan.
Oh, you lost your.
Guess he's talking about somebody. Yeah.
Didn't like the second one, like the first.
I know.
I gotta say, I love that show. I love that movie.
I got it. My brother got it from me as a kid. Perfect day to wear this today.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the press box. Now, these are the best seats in the house, and they're free if you're working for either the media of some sort, whatever. Pirate writers will be over here this evening. Milwaukee writers will be over here. Okay, and as you will notice, in the old days, they used to have to plug in their computers.
Yes.
Now they no longer do
Yes.
that, but they still have little numbers there. You would get an assigned seat, mostly for security reasons, that you would come through. If it is going to be nice tonight, these windows will be raised. When we built this was an open-air press box. There was no glass. And these guys all whined and fussed because their computers were getting wet, you know, stuff like that. So they put the windows in at that point. Really nice opening day when it's snowing out there and you can see the air where it comes to the north. Okay? If it's really hot, they'll turn on the air conditioning, but a lot of times these guys like to have the windows up. They're working on their laptops, on their whatever, and they hear the people out there yelling, they miss what's going on. All the TVs up here are on a delay, so everybody can see at least one of them from whatever seat you happen to be in, so they can look up and see what they happen to miss at that point. Okay? Now, the only time this room is full is if there is a special game, like for the World Series game, because we haven't had any of those here, All-Star game, 2006, things like that. You would have a big crowd. Most of the time, you know, there's not going to be that many people that are going to be up here. Broadcasting facilities are down to your right. We have our own radio and television broadcasting facilities here. We now broadcast 93.7 The Fan, which is, for those of you, again, Pittsburghers, KDKA FM, which is significant because KDKA broadcast the first baseball game ever back in the 1920s. Neat thing. If you look way out there to your left on that hill, you'll see a little tower. It looks like it has a goalpost on the top. Go over the hill there. That's where Forbes Field was. They could not do a remote broadcast. So the guy who was broadcasting the game was actually sitting in the radio station across the river here, connected to that guy with a telegraph key. And they would send telegraph messages to the radio station. And he was basically the first color commentator because he made up a lot of what was going on from these little reports he got on the telegraph. Okay? So they would go through. Then because people saw it was successful. All the teams started broadcasting on the radio very shortly thereafter. AT&T Sportsnet is our television affiliate right now, so we would have them over there. So if you're watching the game on TV and they show you the broadcast booth, that's where those guys would be. We have two tonight for Milwaukee. They will have their own radio and television. We won't plug them in, but they'll be over there. There is an extra room for ESPN, MLB, Deportes. We've had Korean stations, Japanese stations. They can come in there as well and have their own facilities to go through. They just opened the blinds down there, but you can see above where it says Champions. That's our computer room. It's a nice spot, 60 degrees in there all the time. Anything that is run by a computer is controlled out of there. That includes the big screen TV out there. That includes all the graphics that you would see, the out-of-town scoreboard, the ribbon scoreboard underneath the second level. So all of that would be controlled. There's about 25 people in there during the game. And it's really weird when you look in there because most of them have their back to the field, looking at their computer screens and so on, trying to keep everything going. He actually has a script for the game as to what they are going to be doing when in between all the various things and so on. The last windows down there are for the public address announcer. So any announcements that are made during the game and that, he would, be coming out of there. That's where the music comes from when the players come up, so on and so forth. We go through. Looking at the ballpark itself. Left field wall is 6 feet high. We've had a number of instances of guys actually reaching up over that fence into the stands, making catches. The center field wall is 10 feet high. As part of that center field area, you will see the deepest part of the ballpark, which is called the north side notch, which is that little entrance into the bullpens down there. Both bullpens are in the same area. Milwaukee will be in the one in the front. Pirates will be in the one in the back. We'll see those better when we go down the rotunda later on. The right field wall is of special significance. In honor of Roberto, a home run to right field has to be 21 feet high. It has to go over that blue labeling out there at that point. So that is the Clemente wall. His statue is down at the end of the bridge there, and they have situated him so that he is looking into right field. Okay? So you would have that. Actually, that's a great story. I'm not sure if it's really true or not, because his statue used to be at Three Rivers, and they brought it over here, and they couldn't turn his head on his statue. Okay? Put it on there. We only have 4 Pirates immortalized in statues. Roberto is there. Stargell was where you guys came in. Hannes Wagner is at home plate, and this is Hannes' third stop because he was at Forbes Field, he was at Three Rivers, now he's here. And the newest one is Mazeroski, which is the end of, very conveniently, Mazeroski Way. Okay, so you would have that. When we built the ballpark, we thought there would be a lot of big left-handed hitters hitting the ball in the river. So you will see out there on the right field wall a little sign that says Bowser Blast. When we built the ballpark, it said Riverwatch. After about 5 years, it read a resounding 1. Darrell Ward, playing for the Houston Astros, hit a grand slam into the river, beat the Pirates that day. He became a free agent. We were impressed. We signed him. He never did it again. 2 Pirates have put the ball in the river on the fly. Garrett Jones and Pedro Alvarez both did that. 40, I think it's up to 44 now, have bounced in because out there are like sidewalks. Ball gets over that, hits the concrete, and bounces like crazy. So I think there's 47 balls that have gotten wet, only 3 on the fly. And as a matter of fact, Alvarez kind of, a weird story, his never got wet, it landed in a boat that was sitting out there.
Whoa, that would be awesome.
And the guy who owned the boat watched the replay, and then he also watched somebody climb off the riverwalk into his boat and take the ball. So, But again, you get so again, Bowser Blast is now an indication of how many home runs the Pirates have hit at home this year. So that's what we now keep track of. That's a little bit better than having a 3 up there. Go ahead.
The other question is, anybody ever hit the PNC Park, the sign above your scoreboard?
No. Aaron Judge, when the Yankees were here last year, hit the Miller Lite sign.
Okay.
But the longest home run ever hit here, Sammy Sosa cleared that little building underneath the flags out there. I think it was 486 feet they measured. Okay. Alvarez hit one 483. I wanted to cheat and make it so that he beat Sosa, but they wouldn't let us. But that was the longest home run that was ever hit here.
Thank you.
Again, Judge hit that in batting practice. He didn't do it during a game. Every once in a while, the groundskeeper will go out there where it says Pirates in the hedges with these big 5-gallon buckets and pick up all the balls that are in there. But that's mostly, again, from batting practice, not, from games and so on. And coincidentally, it was about 2 weeks later they found that Sosa's bats were corked. Okay? And he said that wasn't the one that he used. That was just his batting practice bat. He never used that in the game. Okay? Of course, Sosa was corked too, but that's the river out there is the Allegheny River. It flows down from New York. On the other side of the city is the Monongahela, flows up from West Virginia. And they join down here to your right to make the Ohio, which was where we very conveniently got the name Three Rivers Stadium. Okay? With a lot of imagination there. When we started playing baseball back in the late 1800s, this was actually not part of Pittsburgh. This was called Allegheny City over here. Pittsburgh was in the middle, and what is now the south side was called Birmingham, named after the big steel production area in England. Okay? And basically what you would find, the mills were over there, the wind goes that way, all the rich people built their houses over here, the Carnegies, the Mellons, the Fricks, all had. This was like the 4th richest city in the United States, okay, for a period of time. Then they built the bridges and it all became part of Pittsburgh at that point. When we started playing baseball here in the 1880s, we were known as the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. In the late 1800s, the players and the owners, same fight they have now. Players thought they were underpaid, underappreciated. They all quit, formed their own league called the Players League. Great ball players, horrible businessmen. The league did not even last an entire season before it fell apart. So the owners all got together and said, anybody that you lost to the Players League, next spring you can claim them back, put their name on a roster, turn it in. Philadelphia made a mistake. Not that Philadelphians ever do, but they did. And they left a guy off their roster by the name of Louis Bierbauer, who was one of their better infielders. Clerical error, whatever, they didn't include him on their roster. Bierbauer figures Philadelphia doesn't want him, they didn't claim him, so he makes a deal to play with the Alleghenies. Philadelphia realizes their mistake. They very politely asked us to leave Bierbauer out of his contract so he can come back to Philadelphia. Because we liked Philadelphia so much, we said no. Okay? So they took us to court and they lost. The next day, the Philadelphia newspaper headlines read, Pittsburgh Pirates Bierbauer. And our owners thought that was a really neat title, and that's how we became the Pittsburgh Pirates. Only nice thing Philadelphia ever did for us. The bridges, the first bridge is the Clemente Bridge. Tonight before the game, they will close it down to most vehicles, turn it into a big sidewalk. Because for those of you that have been to a game here, you notice parking is at a premium. Park in town, walk across the bridge. The second bridge is the Andy Warhol Bridge. His museum is at the end of that bridge. And the third bridge, which is exactly like it, is the Rachel Carson Bridge. She was an environmentalist. started all the concerns about DDT and so on. She lived in a little town called Springdale, which is right up the Allegheny River from here. Okay? Questions while we are here? Okay, Carmen! Hey! I did all the talking and you're just waiting. Okay. That's it. Follow Carmen. We're going to get on the elevator and head down a couple floors.
What?
Almost did the same thing. Nicholas.
Catch the next one. Okay. Now. Wait. You want us to go in or not go in?
Yes, sir. One level.
Guess we're gonna see some sweets. Guess we're gonna see some sweets now.
Holy elevator in the ballpark. There was a great big guy stepped on it and dropped about 2 inches, and I thought, oh, this is good. Let me speak about it. Somebody already punched somebody good. That's fine.
I know there's places, there's bars and places he did.
Yeah, there's an actual photograph we'll see down the stairs. You know, the same idea. Yeah, we're gonna take a third one.
To the hotel?
No, to the, I mean, I don't know what hotel.
It's down the block from the Dominican.
I should be waiting for you to get there.
No, we're going down to the third.
I'm on the field again.
Hope my daddy doesn't hold you because I'm holding the bag. Probably can't.
I got it right. Holding on. Nice colors there.
Pirates were called the Alleghenies. And the official name of the organization
They traded him. Jeff Martin.
was in something. If you take a walk around the ballpark up here, which is on Blade side, is the Miss Wagner statue. Mrs. Mazeroff's way out here. Statue. And then, of course,
Okay, Carmen, we're here.
okay. Down.
Yeah, let's stop at the shirts real quick and then we'll head down.
We're gonna be someday.
Come on in, folks. Just line up kind of down here in front of the uniforms.
club level. Seats up here, $70, $80. You get a seat outside. You can come in here. 3 clubs. The one down on the far right end is Club 3000. In there, we honor all those players that have 3,000 hits. Okay, for the Pirates, that would include Hannes Wagner, Paul Wainer, Roberto Clemente. Roberto had exactly 3,000. Okay, got his 3,000 hit the last game of the season, and then died in a plane crash that following New Year's Day. The shirts, again, bits of Pirate history. 1903 shirt, that was the year of the first World Series. We played the Boston Americans at that point. We won the first World Series game ever played in Boston. We lost the first World Series. Boston had this guy who wasn't bad. I think his name was Cy Young. Okay? So, I think he pitched their 5 wins, okay? Because back in those days, you know, guys pitched forever. I don't know, must have been stronger, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, the uniform is all wool. And you got to remember, in 1903, you're playing all-day games because they hadn't invented the light bulb yet, okay? And, you know, in Pittsburgh, you're playing in a swamp anyway, so you can see why our owner, Barney Dreyfus, was in a hurry to get out. 1925, we beat the Washington Senators. It starts to look more like a baseball uniform, a little bit more cotton, a lot less wool. We put the fancy little P's on our sleeve. The patch is the 50th anniversary of baseball. In Pittsburgh, we haven't been playing for 50 years yet, but all the teams, you know, had that on. In the 30s, we learned how to write, and our shirts will still say Pittsburgh if we were on the road, Pirates if we were at home. By 37, we were putting numbers on the jerseys. In the 20s, the Yankees and the Indians started doing that, but they were American League, so we resisted for a long time, you know, as you would go through. And you'll notice very uniquely, all the shirts are some combination red, white, and blue. We do not become black and gold until the late 1940s, and that's when we get around to looking at it. The city of Pittsburgh flag is that black and gold flag that is out there. That's where the black and gold comes from. The Steelers did it first, followed by the Pirates. And once we got done fighting with the Boston Bruins, they let us wear black and gold as well for the Penguins. We have a girls football team, the Pittsburgh Passion, soccer, the Riverhounds. We are the only city that we know of where all of our sports teams wear the same color. Okay, so if you're somewhere and you see black and gold, you can probably figure they're from somewhere around Pittsburgh, you know, somewhere thereabouts, because like I said, all our major sports teams wear that color. The second club over here is Gunners. It's in honor of our broadcasters. The gunner was a guy by the name of Bob Prince, who was a long-time broadcaster at that point. Lots of unique ideas. He came out with what was known as the Green Weenie, which was one of our food sponsors, Kahn's Wieners. They made these little green hot dogs, put beads in them, and you were supposed to shake them at the opposing pitcher. How things have changed. Guy that pitched for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who wasn't bad, his name was Don Drysdale, complained to the league that it was too distracting. So they actually banned the Green Weenie based on a player's thing. Nowadays, if a player complained about some promotional item, they would say, "Thank you, sir, go sit down," you know, and just go on. But you know, things have changed that much. The Pirate started the, well, I should say, Prince started with the Pirates what was called babushka power. And again, if you're not from the area, the old Studabubbas used to wear these little head scarves, okay? And they were supposed to take them off, and so that was the beginning of the terrible towel, okay? Myron Cope adopted that from Bob Prince and used the money that they got from the terrible towels to fund a school for special children where his children went, and so on, okay? And then we're gonna head down to Keystone Corner here. So, we're going this way.
I don't know. I guess down the hall. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good, man. How are you? Good to see you. It's been a long journey.
Yeah.
And finally, we're up on top to some degree.
Yeah.
One game back now.
Yeah.
Tied up tonight.
I love that.
I live in Milwaukee, so lots of good heckling.
I live 3 blocks from the stadium, so I love it.
Where you live?
I live 3 blocks from the stadium.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Lived there since 2000, late 2000.
Wow.
I love it. Been up there for a few days. Chico Airfare.
Okay.
Chico Airbnb place.
Okay.
It's on Coke Explorer.
Yeah.
Never
nice.
been. Never been.
Nice. Yeah, us too. I have my park in Pittsburgh once, but not the stadium. I love it. It's a beautiful stadium.
Yeah. I'm thinking about trying to get a ticket for the 12:30 or 4:30 days.
Okay, tomorrow.
Make left field like we were sitting in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was hot. I'm ready to bake.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready to bake.
You're right. Yeah, it will be.
It's a single admission doubleheader. So.
Oh, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Wow.
You buy one
I didn't
ticket and you
think
can
they
see
did
both games.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't think they did those anymore.
Wow.
No, I guess like I haven't seen it, but they are now, I guess.
And more.
This area, very, very special for Pirates fans. This is called Keystone Corner. When we were building the ballpark, they wanted to honor Mazeroski. Mazeroski says, do not put my name on anything, okay? So, the Keystone base is second base. So we call this Keystone Corner, and we kind of got around his wishes a couple ways. There will always be 9 tables in this room. There are 9s on the floor, there are 9s on the windows. So he, again, because Mazeroski's number was 32, okay? But his number being 9, that's how we honor him at this point. He is the last Pirate inducted into the Hall of Fame, which just happened to be 2001, the year we opened the ballpark. So he donated his Hall of Fame jersey, it's over here in the glass, you'll see it on the way out, to us. They put it over there, and so again, this basically is in honor of Mazeroski at that point. And as I told, I think some of you before, the only Game 7 walk-off home run in World Series history. Okay, so we really, that's probably one of, next to the Immaculate Reception, any of the Raider fans, probably like the most famous sports moments, in Pittsburgh. The bats, the balls up here, honor our batting champions. We have 11 different guys that have won a total of 25 batting titles. The only team better than that is Detroit. That's because they had Ty Cobb, who won 14, okay? Thomas Wagner won 8. He and Ty Cobb were, what do you call when they lived the same, contemporaries, okay? So you would have him. Wagner had 8 titles in the National League. He is also the first guy to get his name burned on the bat, okay? Louisville Sluggers offered that to Ty Cobb. His demands were such that they finally said, Mr. Cobb, you may keep your bat, and they put Wagner's name on it, so that's what started all of that. And if you look at his bat compared to many of the others, it looks like a club. Remember that back in the early 1900s, the dead ball era, okay? So they just wanted to hit it as hard as they could because it wasn't going to go anywhere anyway, okay? Back in those days, they used the same ball a lot of times for the entire game, okay? Pittsburgh was one of the first cities to actually allow fans to keep balls that were fouled into the stands. And that was by a police request because they got tired of fighting people to get the balls back. So that's when they started doing all of that. Now they go through an average of 7 dozen baseballs a game. Okay, so you get an idea. Clemente won 4, and Paul Wayner won 3. So there's 15 of our 25. The last Pirate is Freddie Sanchez in 2006. So we honored them, as you see here. 2 of them have no signatures on it. And we had a great story, why not, until somebody did some research and found out it wasn't true. But we don't know why they don't have signatures on them. Okay, Ginger Beaumont, Deb's arms. The only thing I will note about Ginger Beaumont, he was the first player to ever bat in the World Series. He was our leadoff hitter. We played in Boston, and so he became, that little bit of notoriety. And as my wife says, too much useless stuff. Again, you would get an idea. We also had a great story about Bill Madlock's bat was brown, but we found out that wasn't true either. I hate when facts are a good story. So, any questions while we're in here?
What's the story?
Supposedly he changed the color of his bat because he was in a slump and started hitting, so he kept it that way. But that wasn't true. He just liked that bat. Okay. Nowadays, at the end of spring training, the company that makes Louisville Sluggers does a computer chip on every player, and it stores all their specifications, length, weight, grip size, everything like that. So if Francisco Cervelli needs bats, they just call down there, they pull his chip out, put it in the machine. I understand it'll do about 12 bats in 10 minutes. They put them in a little box, overnight them, and I think you have to order 12 at a time. You can't order like, they used to. The boxes must fit 12 bats, so that's what they put in and send out. And they go from it. The bats are now made out of maple. They used to be made out of ash, and some bug ate all the ash trees, so that's why they switched over. The ash bats, as they got older, dried and hardened. The maple bats, as they dry out, splinter. That's why there's so many more broken bats nowadays. Because somebody is working on a synthetic. Kids say, why don't they give them aluminum bats? Because you'd be killing pitchers. Okay? Pitchers would have to wear full body armor at that point. So they are working on some kind of a synthetic, they tell me. But it's only a couple of years down the road at best that they're working for safety. Any lawyers in here? Before I make another comment. But again, that's, somebody gets hurt. Okay, we're going to head on this way.
First game.
Wow. Oh, versus Mets.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did he say that we're going now?
He said, but it would be when you're out here.
Really? It is tough. Yeah. It was.
You could play them back.
Oh, by the way, don't play any Pirate bats. Oh, yeah?
She's sleeping.
Yeah.
She's tired. We can't hear what she's saying. We cannot hear what she's saying.
Oh, the rotunda.
What?
The rotunda.
Yeah.
the big walkway thing.
Okay, the rooms we just passed, those are called the World Series suites. You can rent them per game. So I'll never get in there because I don't have 39 friends. But if you had like 39 friends, you can rent those. It's about $100 a person, which sounds like a lot. But to spend $80 to sit in the club, you have to buy your own food. You sit in the World Series suite, it costs you about $100. Plus you get a $500 food credit. So that comes. So it's actually not a bad deal. As we go through. The floor below we're going to go past are the corporate suites. There are 65 of those, and then 4 that are owned by the Pirates. So they're various companies. The only 2 Pirates I ever heard of that had one, Jason Kendall used to have number 1 when he was here way out there on the end. So when his family came in from California, that he had someplace that he wasn't using, and he donated it to local groups. And then A.J. Burnett, when he was here, had one, you know, for his family and so on. But those are the only 2 Pirates I know. The rest of them are owned by various companies and corporations and so on. So if you guys want to keep up while we're going down, I got a whole bunch of other useful stuff to tell you about. These guys all played for either the Crawfords or the Braves. They played in the Negro Leagues. None of them but one ever played in the major leagues. Satchel Paige, 46 or 48 years old when he's a rookie with the Cleveland Indians, helping them win the 48 World Series. None of the rest of these guys ever played in the major leagues. They are all in Cooperstown though. They were all great ball players at that point, but because of the color of their skin, they couldn't play in the major leagues. Okay? My favorite, Judy Johnson, probably one of the fastest ball players, supposedly 13 seconds from home, around the bases, back to home again. Okay? So that's pretty good. On the other side of those banners you'll see downstairs are Pirate Hall of Famers, Dick Rhodes, Ralph Kiner, and so on. But I just wanted to point those guys out. By the way, the Pirates are wearing their Crawford jerseys for the game, so they're going to be in red and white.
Make sure you give us a t-shirt.
Your mom and I just got rolled on to California to watch the Yankees play in West Coast.
You guys come over because this guy on the court likes to pick off the board.
That's right.
I get a punch it.
Tuesday night, $20. Bring your dog to the ballpark. Why you would do that, I have no idea. Agreed.
That'd be a Sunday. I think that would be a nightmare.
What?
I think that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
You just said that they are wearing the Crawfords tonight.
They are. Pirates are in the front, the visitors are in the back. There must be a bump in the concrete here because it's snowing. Now switch the Pirates are in the back, the visitors are in the front.
said to you guys earlier, I felt there had to be some reason. Yeah, he's doing a lot more talking.
A lot of narrative.
Yeah. But the way you see it, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Made me laugh. Made me laugh a few times.
Yeah. Sure.
When do you fly out?
Sunday.
Oh.
Came in Thursday and flying out on Sunday.
Ah. Well, you can make it tomorrow.
Yeah, I can make it tomorrow.
Yeah, the second game's gonna start approximately a half hour after the first one ends. So it's not like set times.
I still can't believe I can see 2 games for one price.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they used to do it a lot, but
Oh, I remember. I was just saying. Yeah, he also remember.
Yeah.
I was a little tight.
Yeah, definitely.
That was what me and my family saw too.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did it all every once in a while.
It seemed like it. Yeah, they scheduled it quite a bit. Yeah.
Baseball, I need a horn.
Right. Yeah.
I think every fan has a favorite.
Sure.
But
It's like the whole experience.
you just sit in front of it. Uniform vault.
Okay, this room is only open like during tours. Like if you have a ticket to the game, you can't come in here for the most part. On the back, we have like our little timelines, all the various little logos and things like that. And again, in my demented sense, if you look at this guy here and you look at that 1960 Pirate, do you notice a similarity? This was our manager, Danny Murtaugh, at the time. The second guy in the little yellow block there, third guy, I guess, actually, that's actually Frank Gifford, okay? They used his face, okay, for that as you would go through. These are first for the Pirates. You want to hit the button and then we'll get done, okay? Here's first World Series, Boston in the front, Pittsburgh in the back. Here's the owner, Barney Dreyfus. This guy was a great baseball mind, okay, as far as coming up with new innovative things and so on and so forth. Harold Arlen, he is the guy that announces the first game ever on the radio. Here he is years later. His grandson is playing for the San Diego Padres, so they invited him back to help with the broadcast with that. Ralph Kiner, led the National League in home runs 7 years in a row, asked for a raise. Our owner told him, hey, we lost 100 games with you, we can lose 100 games without you, and we traded him to Chicago. And hurt his back, never did it again at that point. He was like the first guy that, like, baseball player who started dating movie stars, things like that. You know, he was a big heartthrob and so on. Mazeroski, that's that picture that's upstairs. There's the ball. There's Yogi Berra crying again. Richard Nixon, before he was a crook, I guess. Murtaugh. This is the first night game for the World Series, okay? When I was younger, you had to rush home from school to hear the World Series because it was never on. And then we'll play with some more. Now you get 3 minutes of looking at the P on the front screen until the movie starts. This is a movie about the clubhouse, okay? If you're Pittsburgh fans and you want to come see the clubhouse, you have to come when they're out of town because then we can actually get in the clubhouse. But we're going to show you a video of what is in there at this. Okay. Now we get 2 minutes of a pirate. Okay.
I'm Greg Brown, Pirates broadcaster, and welcome to the Pittsburgh Pirates Clubhouse. Today, we're going to be walking you through the areas of this 18,000 square foot clubhouse. The design of this clubhouse is what we call a wagon wheel effect. The main area, the players' lockers, which acts as the center of the wheel. All the other rooms are off the center, just like the spokes of a wagon wheel. So let's get going. Now, the first few areas that we are going to visit are designated for the coaching staff. The first area we come upon is the manager's office, set up with the manager's own desk space along with his own dressing and shower area. All the other coaches have a joint space just down the hall from the manager's office, which is set up with their individual lockers and large showers. Next, we move on to the trainer's room, and here we have all the medicines, gels, lotions, and equipment needed to provide great sports medicines for the Pirates players by the doctors and the training staff. One of the pieces of equipment that the players really like to use is Swimex, a rehab pool that's 18 feet long, 10 feet wide, 6 feet deep. The players will go into the Swimex, run or swim against the current with the idea of rehabbing an injury much quicker. Also included in the trainer's area, the X-ray room and doctor's rooms. Real convenient for doctors and athletic trainers to use equipment that we have right here at the ballpark to examine and help heal an injured player. Next, we move on to the weight room, outfitted with all the state-of-the-art equipment our Pirates players need to stay up on their weight training routines. You'll see a lot of players in here after ball games as to not to wear out their muscles beforehand. The weight room is regarded as one of the best in all of baseball. Now, the main area of the clubhouse is, of course, the players' individual locker space. This is set up with all the uniforms and the jerseys of the day. Those jerseys are hung up by the Pirates clubhouse staff. On top of each locker is a steel plate that has each player's name and number on it, one of the intricate details of this ballpark. Of course, Pittsburgh is the Steel City after all. On the walls above the player lockers, you'll notice all the uniform numbers that are retired by the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, along with all the World Championship banners. At the other end of the clubhouse, a few more rooms. First, on our right, is the laundry facility. This, of course, is where all the uniforms are washed and dried and hung up after each home game. Off of the laundry room, a separate area occupied by all the bat boys and clubhouse staff. Next to that, we have the cafeteria. The players and coaches come in here and get meals before and after each home game, prepared by one of the top chefs in the Western Pennsylvania area. And take it from me, they can get really hungry. Now, this room here is like mission control. Players, coaches, the analytics department come in here and do homework and break down video. Over 30 monitors set up in this room. Players and coaches come down, study each at bat, each pitch, study mechanics, make constant adjustments and improvements. This is also the room when the phone rings during a game, the bench coach calling on behalf of the manager wants to know if a play should be challenged on the field and have the umpires review it back in New York. This room here is called the Players Lounge, located right next to the clubhouse manager's office. It's where Pirates players come in and just get loose before or after playing the game of baseball. They play other games, video, arcade, whatever. Fun, but trust me, it can get very competitive too. Well, the Pirates clubhouse manager has a very important job. He's responsible for maintaining order inside this huge clubhouse. He also takes care of all the baseball equipment, even helps out with the team when they're on the road. The rooms where the equipment is stored are all across the hall from the clubhouse, and in these rooms, we keep all the uniforms, baseballs, bats, you name it, it's in here. Also in a room across from the clubhouse, and our last stop of the clubhouse area, the regeneration room. This room houses the sensory deprivation tanks, also known as an isolation or float tank. Our players use it to help isolate the mind without any external stimulants. It helps them to prepare for the game. Take it from the players, they love it here. Just another reason why PNC Park is the best ballpark in America. I'm Greg Brown. Thanks for coming.
Okay, just to finish up real quick. Stargell, okay. This is Steve Blass here, this guy that looks like this defective frog here. He is, if I remember my facts right, the last player to pitch a complete Game 7 World Series, okay? He's been with the Pirates for 55 or 56 years. He signed right out of high school and played all the way through and then became a broadcaster. And the sad thing with Blass is they actually named a condition after him. He went from being World Series champion to being horrible the next year, and they have no idea in the world why he lost his ability to pitch. Okay, it's called Blass syndrome, and it's like, you know, really sad. But he's still around, and he's a great announcer. Clemente, and you get an idea here. People always say, well, look at the picture, look at the size of the baseball and look at the size of his hands. His hands were huge at that point, okay? Yeah. Barry Bonds, when he had a neck, okay? Chuck Tanner. 1971, Murtaugh puts out the first all-minority lineup. Somebody after the game said, gee, Danny, why did you do that? And he said, because I put my 9 best players on the field for that day. You know, that's, you know, he didn't give any thought to it. PNC opening, and then this is our newest one. We're the first team to have a walk-off phone call, okay? Starling Marte hits a triple, bottom in the 9th game, tied 1-1 with the Giants. They bobble the ball, he tries to score, the umpire calls him out. We appeal, it's overruled, he is ruled safe. We win the game on the phone, on the appeal, actually. Lockers, this was Forbes Field. These are the socks that they wore back in the early 1900s, the wool uniform, Mazeroski's 9. And this jersey here has Clemente's number on it, and he would have worn it underneath that shirt that you see over there. His family, it's an actual game-worn jersey by Clemente. His family donated it after his passing at that point. It's probably, excuse me, the most expensive thing in the ballpark. Okay. This was Three Rivers. The only problem with this, it's bigger than this locker, but they had to share these with the Steelers, okay, over at Three Rivers. So, and again, you have different stuff. Stargell, Leland, John Wayner, who's also one of our announcers, who likes to remind people that he hit the last home run by a Pirate at Three Rivers Stadium, okay? He doesn't tell you he's also the last Pirate to strike out there, but that's okay. Okay. This is what the lockers are like in our locker room here, okay? They have a little safe in them, they have electric in there, and this is just a collection of things that we have had. That's a base from opening day, and the Cincinnati hat is there because that's who we played that day, okay? That you would see. So again, like I said, if you want to see the locker room itself, you have to come when the Pirates are on the road somewhere, and then they actually let us go in there. We're one of the few ballparks where they will actually let you into the locker room. Okay? So, questions before we head off? Okay, let's go to the batting cage. Good timing.
Where do you go?
Was there a World Cup tour? I didn't think there was.
I don't know.
For some reason I noticed 10. I noticed 12.
And then 3.
Yeah, I thought there was one other one at 3, like, I want to say
Well,
3:45.
they do like a pre-game tour where you get to go and stand on the warning track during batting practice.
Okay, yeah, I've done that at another ballpark.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I think there was a 10.
Yeah, maybe they're getting like private tours.
No. It definitely looked like a tour to me.
Yeah. This is doctor's room.
Examination room.
Yeah, there's the x-ray.
Oh, yeah. They showed us on the film.
There's a locker room. Umpire's lounge. That's a clubhouse. And if I know correctly, that's the dugout.
Again, we ask you not handle any of the equipment, but come on in.
This is the first tour that's done this.
But yeah,
I have gone on.
Philadelphia did this too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. At least when I went.
Not touching that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, right? I know, it's literally right there.
Guys, squeeze down a little bit. We got a couple more people to get in. Fancy name. This is the Pittsburgh Pirate Indoor Training Facility. Batting cage. Okay. We have two. Tonight Milwaukee will have one. We have real baseballs. We gave them wiffle balls. So, they have one tunnel and they can come in and do it. Plus they can go out on the field do their batting practice. So the right side you can bring in a live pitcher. I don't know who Milwaukee is. Between the two of us, we're going to end up getting hurt. If they're pitching a lefty, we have a guy that will come in and pitch batting practice. If they have a righty, we have another guy that will come in and pitch for them. They're not major leaguers. They're not throwing 100 miles an hour, so they'll probably slide the L screen over and stand a lot closer than 60 feet 6 inches. But they can have live pitching at that point. The other side has a pitching machine in the back, and it'll throw fastballs, a little bit of a breaking ball. You set the wheels to spin at different speeds and so on, just to give them some practice. They also have the batting tees in there to come in and work on their mechanics. They will also be videoed. There are cameras mounted in the ceiling. There are cameras mounted on each wall. They will feed to the computer monitors that are on the table there in the middle. If you come in here in about an hour or so, tonight's pitcher from Milwaukee will be on those TV screens. They will be watching him from his last couple games, getting an idea of what his delivery is like and so on. There will also be charts mounted on the wall over here showing his pitching tendencies, where he tends to throw, what he tends to throw, things like that. And as our old batting.
Alright, so right around this time, my GoPro ran out of battery and it died. So you guys did not get to see the dugout pictures because after the batting cages, we went up to the dugouts. If you guys want to see some pictures that I took in the dugout, you can go ahead and look on my Instagram at rmillerofficial.